Welcome to IELTS 18 Test 2 Passage 2, Living with Artificial Intelligence. Today we will explore how AI aligns with human values and the challenges it may bring. This passage has 13 questions in 3 types: multiple choice, yes/no/not given, and summary completion. These questions fall into 2 categories: keyword location and logical comparison. Knowing the question types helps us use different strategies for each type, making our work more efficient. The article has 11 paragraphs. It is an argumentative essay about AI and human values. Passage 1 to 3 introduce the rapid development and potential of AI. Passage 4 to 5 discuss the need and challenges of aligning AI with human values. Passage 6 to 9 explore moral issues and practical applications of AI. The heat map shows most questions are in passages 4 to 9. Let's look at question 14. It is a multiple-choice question. The question asks what point the writer makes about AI in the first paragraph. The core of the question is about the writer's view on AI, especially regarding its future limitations. Let's locate the first paragraph. The writer says the restriction of narrow AI is very temporary, and we may have AGI by mid-century. Option A says it's hard to predict progress, but the writer doesn't discuss prediction difficulty. Option B says we can learn a lot from chess, but that's not the main point. Option D says experts disagree, but the writer says many experts agree. So the answer to question 14 is C. Let's look at question 15. What is the writer doing in the second paragraph? Option A, explaining why machines can surpass humans. This question asks about the main purpose of the second paragraph. We need to find the writer's core intention. Let's look at the second paragraph. The writer says machines will be free from physical limits of human intelligence, like slow processing and size limits. Option B says describe common features, but the text focuses on differences. Option C says give information about development, but the focus is explaining why. Option D says point out human strengths, but the text says humans have limits. So the answer to question 15 is A. Let's look at question 16. Why does the writer mention the story of King Midas? The question asks about the writer's purpose in using this story. The key idea is asking for the wrong thing leading to disastrous consequences. Let's locate paragraph C. The writer says the more powerful AI becomes, the more important it is to set its goals carefully. Then the folktale is introduced. Option A talks about comparing visions of progress, but the story warns about risks, not comparison. Option C mentions cooperation, which is not in the text. Option D talks about financial advantage, also not mentioned. So the answer to question 16 is B. Let's look at question 17. What challenge does the writer refer to in the fourth paragraph? Options: A. Encourage humans to act with principles. B. Decide which values to share. C. Create a better world for all creatures. D. Ensure AI is more human-friendly than us. The core of the question is the challenge mentioned in the fourth paragraph. Note the keywords challenge and fourth paragraph. We need to find the specific difficulty the writer points out. Let's locate the fourth paragraph. The writer says we need to create human-friendly AI, but the difficulty is that humans themselves are not always human-friendly. We do many terrible things. Let's eliminate wrong options. A. Encourage humans to act with principles, not mentioned. B. Decide which values to share, related but the writer focuses on human nature. C. Create a better world for all creatures, too broad. So the answer to question 17 is D. Let's look at question 18. What does the writer suggest about the future of AI in the fifth paragraph? The question asks about the future of AI. The key is the writer's opinion. Let's locate paragraph E. The writer says machines will be ethically and cognitively superhuman. Option A says safety is a key issue, but the text focuses on machines' superior abilities. Options B and D are not mentioned. So the answer to question 18 is C. Let's look at question 19. What is the writer's main argument in paragraph 6? Please pause the video and think about it yourself. This question asks about the main argument of paragraph 6. The key is to understand the writer's main point. Let's locate paragraph 6. The writer says the getting started problem is hard because humans are tribal creatures, conflicted about ideals, and ignore the suffering of strangers. Option A says machines will abuse power, but the text doesn't say that. Option B says machine learning is similar to human learning, which is wrong. Option C says few people know programming, also not in the text. So all are wrong. So the answer to question 19 is D. Next, let's move on to the yes/no/not given section for Q20-23. Let's look at question 20. The statement says, machines with the ability to make moral decisions may prevent us from promoting the interests of our communities. Please pause the video and try to judge it yourself first. The key clue words in the statement are, machines with moral decisions and prevent us from promoting community interests. We locate paragraph G. Here, the author discusses the possible consequences of moral machines. The author says, we might lose our freedom to discriminate in favor of our own communities. This directly matches the statement's idea of prevent us from promoting the interests of our communities. The author's view is completely consistent with the statement. Although the author uses might, the statement also uses may. Both express a possibility, so there is no contradiction. So the answer to question 20 is yes. Let's look at question 21. Silicon police would need to exist in large numbers in order to be effective. Please pause the video and think about your answer. Core clues in the statement, silicon police, large numbers, effective. Locate paragraph H. The author mentions silicon police, but discusses their ability to limit our choices. The text says, they might be so good at doing it that we won't notice them. This implies effectiveness, but doesn't mention quantity. The author does not express any view on large numbers. The statement says they need to be numerous, but the text only talks about effectiveness, not how to achieve it. So the answer to question 21 is not given. Let's look at question 22. Many people are comfortable with the prospect of their independence being restricted by machines. The core clue words in the statement are comfortable and independence being restricted. Locate paragraph H, where the author discusses the topic of machines limiting our choices. The author says few of us are likely to welcome such a future, directly showing most people are not comfortable. The statement says many people are comfortable, but the author says few welcome it. These are completely opposite. So the answer to question 22 is NO. Let's look at question 23. If we want to ensure that machines act in our best interests, we all need to work together. The core clue words in the statement are work together. Locate paragraph J. The author says it will require a cooperative spirit. The text says it will require a cooperative spirit, which matches work together in the statement. The author clearly expresses the view, if possible, cooperation is needed. This matches the statement's claim. So the answer to question 23 is yes. Next, let's move on to the completion section for Q24-26. Let's look at question 24. The statement says AI already has some input into how resources are used in the NHS in the UK. Please pause the video and find the answer in the passage. First, analyze the clues around the blank. The word before the blank is how, and after it is are used. This means we need a plural noun that is being used. Based on the clue words, we locate paragraph I. We see this sentence, AI already has some input into how resources are used in our National Health Service. The word resources appears directly here. Notice that resources in the passage is directly given, no synonym replacement needed. The phrase, how resources are used in the question is exactly the same as in the passage. So the answer is resources. So the answer to question 24 is C/resources. Let's look at question 25. Let's look at this blank. The question says, however, we'd be depriving some humans, e.g. senior doctors, of the control they presently enjoy. The blank needs a word that corresponds to medical practitioners. Looking at grammar, the blank is after depriving some humans, e.g., so the blank should be a noun for people, and it should be plural. The phrase senior doctors in the question tells us the answer should be a word for a profession or role. We locate paragraph I in the text. We see this sentence, however, we'd be depriving some humans, e.g. senior doctors, of the control they presently enjoy. Here, senior doctors appears directly, exactly matching the example in the question. The original text directly gives the word senior doctors, no synonym replacement is needed. The phrase medical practitioners in the question is a summary of senior doctors, but the answer is the word that appears in the text. Note that option F technology experts is a distractor, the text does not mention them. So the answer to question 25 is A/senior doctors. Let's look at question 26. It's a completion question. The statement says we would be depriving some humans, like senior doctors, of something they currently enjoy. What is it? The blank comes after depriving of, so it needs a noun. The phrase they presently enjoy tells us it's something they have now but might lose in the future. Let's go to paragraph I. We find the key word senior doctors right here in this sentence. We'd be depriving some humans, e.g. senior doctors, of the control they presently enjoy. The original text directly gives the answer word control. No synonym needed. Depriving of the control matches the question perfectly. So the answer to question 26 is E/control. Now we move to the summary part. Let's review the key skills for this passage. Trick 1, opposite meaning. The question uses words with opposite meaning to the text, making the answer wrong. For example, question 22. The question says unlikely to see limitations on AI, but the text says this restriction is very temporary. The meaning is opposite. Trick 2, wrong subject or made-up information. The question mentions something not in the text, or gives A's feature to be. For example, question 21. The question says need to exist in large numbers to be effective, but the text never mentions this requirement about numbers. Trick 3, synonym replacement. The question uses different words to express the same meaning as the text. The answer is correct. For example, question 20, explaining why machines outperform humans matches the text machines are free of physical limits. Question 23, superior in some ways matches ethically and cognitively superhuman. General reminder, when doing true-false not given questions, first check if the question has information not in the text, then check if the meaning is opposite, and finally check if it's a synonym replacement. Now let's summarize the important vocabulary and paraphrases from this passage. Key paraphrases: limitations left-right arrow restrictions, outperform left-right arrow free of constraints, poorly defined left-right arrow ask for the wrong thing, human-friendly left-right arrow reliably human-friendly. Answer words, resources, senior doctors, control. That's all for Test 2 Passage 2. I hope these skills help you. See you in the next video.